Hiya! On today's episode of Preaching to a Seven, we'll have a look at a very fun question from OCR-MEI. I love this exam board for the simple reason that they love giving extended questions, which is quite similar to what the IB is expecting from you. The three parts combined would be 18 marks in total. Perfect timing. So, let's start with part 1. You are asked to show by integration that the equation of the curve is this. Looking at the equation once again, you can already tell that this is going to be a separable equation. So, separate variables, integrate, profit. We know that the curve passes through the origin. 0, 0 lies on the curve. So C is also 0. And therefore, 2y squared plus 12y is equal to 9x squared divided by 2. Thus, we have our final answer. Please slow down and show your steps one by one. This is a show that question. So if the examiner is not convinced of your working out, you will lose marks. Part 2. Find the volume of a solid of revolution generated, giving your answer as an exact multiple of pi. Cool. You have the region bounded by the curve and the line rotated about the y-axis. Question 1. Where is the region? Bang. So this is the region. Okay. It is rotated about the y-axis. This means that we need to get an expression. We need to get x in terms of y. So this will be the volume of the solid that we're looking for. The lower bound is 0. The upper bound is 2. Volume of revolution, that is pi times the integral from 0 to 2. X in terms of y, that will be 4y squared plus 24y divided by 9. This is nothing more than basic integration, people. So you shouldn't be taking too much time on this. Plug in the bounds. Sixteen times 9, that is 144. Part 3. If x is 2 tan of theta, y is 3 times sec of theta minus 1, you are asked to first verify this expression, this identity, and then show that this is true and hence find the gradient of the curve. Interesting. Let's start part 1, or part A. Plug it into our expression. Do not rush. Take your time. This is a proof you are expected to show every single step of your working out. First term. I'm going to expand this later. Third term. First term. Expanding this guy, we give you secant squared. 72 secant of theta minus 36. Gone. Secant squared is equal to tan squared plus 1. So we get 36 tan squared minus 36 tan squared minus 36 minus 36 plus 72. This is 0. That is 0. You should get 0 as your final answer, which is also the printed answer. Why do we have to prove this? We have to prove this because that means the derivative of this is going to be that. Part B. We want to now show that 9x divided by 4 times y plus 3 can be expressed as k sine theta. Cool. Four times y plus 3. X is 2 tan theta. Y plus 3, that is going to be, I'm going to do it step by step. Okay. Tan, 18 divided by 12, that's 3 by 2. Tan is sine divided by cos. 1 over secant. Secant is 1 over cosine. And this will give you 3 by 2 sine of theta. The reason I had to write down this part, even though it looks redundant, is because it is to show that question once again. So if you skip this part, you will lose a mark, because I'm pretty sure there should be a mark associated with recalling the definition of secant in terms of cosine. Last part of the question, let's go. Find the exact gradient of the curve at the point with x coordinate 2. Okay. So we know that the gradient of the curve is 3/2 of sine theta. We also know that x is equal to 2 tan theta, and we want to find the gradient when x is equal to 2. So if x is equal to 2, that means tan of theta is equal to 1. If tan of theta is equal to 1, that means theta is equal to pi by 4, or 5 pi by 4, or 9 pi by 4, and so on. What happens when x is equal to 2? When x is equal to 2, we could see that the gradient of a tangent is positive. That is a terrible tangent. But let's say you have something that looks like this. It's to the right of the curve, the derivative is positive. This means that 3 over 2 sine of theta also has to be positive. And therefore, in this case, it is going to be 3 by 2 sine of pi by 4. Or 9 pi by 4. It will give you the same answer anyway. And you should get 3 root 2 by 4 as the final answer. The last part is a little tricky because it requires you to piece the various pieces in the question together. Such is the beauty of these questions. Hope you enjoy it, and I will see you next time.